this week, the Democrats made it official. They finally took a vote on their partisan impeachment and proved just how partisan it really is, with not a single Republican in favor. But, as many have pointed out, the vote doesn't make this legitimate. In fact, the truth is the exact opposite of what the Democrats and their lackeys in the ruling class state media have been saying, that Republicans focus on process because the facts are bad. That is dead wrong. Yes, the process favors the Democrats, but the facts favor the president. Nothing, not a single fact in this case, comes close to justifying the overturning of an election. That's why the Democrats and the media are so hysterical.
Putting both our democracy and the nation's security in jeopardy.
The most treacherous phase of his time in office thus far.
The betrayal of this president, of his oath of office, of the integrity of the 2020 elections, and of our national security.
This is my most disturbing day in Congress.
Well, it's shocking. It really is shocking.
It really is shocking. It really is shocking. Gosh, hysterical. Brian Williams, we're enjoying that one particularly. Unbelievable. He's a news guy. All right, so, he's supposed to be. As a public service to you, the American people, tonight, we will fact-check the hysterics and bring you, as we promise to do every Sunday as long as this farce goes on, the truth about impeachment. Let's start with the speeches on the impeachment vote and possibly the most partisan of all the House Democrats, and that's saying something. Democratic Caucus Chair Hakeem Jeffries.
The House impeachment inquiry is about abuse of power.
Abuse of power. Let's see. When you refuse to accept the result of an election, mobilize the resources of the state to pursue a Russia conspiracy theory aimed at overturning that election, and the second that falls apart, drop it in favor of a new effort to overturn an election through non-democratic means, yeah, I'd say this impeachment is about abuse of power. It's about the Democrats' abuse of power. Next.
It's about betrayal.
Oh, really? Weren't you the ones who said when you took the majority last year you'd focus on healthcare and infrastructure and working Americans, and then dumped all that in favour of this impeachment obsession? Yes, it sounds like betrayal to me, the Democrats' betrayal of their voters.
It's about corruption.
Corruption. The only actual corruption allegation in this whole story is the one against Joe Biden, cash for gas. Vice President Biden channeling US taxpayer money to a Ukrainian gas company paying his son. But instead of investigating it, the Democrats want to impeach the guy who wants it investigated. That's how much they care about corruption.
It's about national security.
What? How is it about national security? If he means it's about standing up to Russia, the Democrats should impeach themselves because no one's been as weak on Russia as they were under Obama.
It's about the undermining of our elections.
Well, he's right about that. Undermining our elections is what the Democrats have been doing every day since 2016.
It's about defending our democracy for the people.
Oh, please. If you want to defend democracy for the people, why don't you let them choose the next president instead of a cabal of politicians in Washington? And Jeffries finished up with this little gem, one that was endlessly repeated by all the rest of them.
No one is above the law.
Yeah, I think that needs a bit of a qualifier, Hakeem. No one is above the law except Joe Biden, who's accused of directing billions of dollars in taxpayer cash to the Ukrainian gas industry and his family's business. And when anyone asks questions about it, they get impeached. No one's above the law. What a total joke these people are. But all that was nothing compared to the vomit-inducing display of hypocrisy from Queen of Corruption, Nancy Pelosi.
Sadly, this is not any cause for any glee or comfort. This is something that is very solemn, that is something prayerful.
It was solemn and prayerful. What, like this?
Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45!
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach them.
Solemn and prayerful, my God. But Pelosi topped even that. I can't quite believe she read out these words, but she did. She honestly did.
As we go forward with this, we will do so in a way that brings people together, that is healing rather than dividing.
Healing. For months, she said, you can't do impeachment unless it's bipartisan. She has not a single Republican in favor of it, but now she goes ahead anyway. and then says it's going to bring people together. Healing. She literally said healing. This is the most divisive political act in, 50 years, 100 years, more? And she talks about healing. Right. One more bit of fact-checking from last week, if I may. The Democrats wheeled out another disgruntled bureaucrat, Alexander VIN Minh, and it was another bombshell that turned out to be a damp squib. The transcript of the phone call wasn't verbatim. There were words left out. Yes, we knew that. Officials were concerned about the phone call and talked to superiors about it. Yes, we knew that. Alexander VIN Minh is a decorated military veteran. Yes, and good for him. He was obviously a hero in military life, but now he's in civilian life. And in a constitutional federal republic, we don't blindly follow military figures. That's the kind of soldier worship you get in a banana republic. So let's fact-check VIN Minh's central claim. He said, "I did not think it was proper to demand that a foreign government investigate a US citizen, and I was worried about the implications for the US government's support of Ukraine." Oh yes, terribly worried. But hang on a second, VIN Minh was a senior official throughout the Obama administration. From 2008, responsible for Eurasia, working in Ukraine and Russia. He returned to work for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, focusing on Russia. And then another senior Pentagon job. All those 8 years, when Obama refused to send any proper military aid to Ukraine, when he sent blankets instead of the weapons that President Trump actually did send, not a peep out of Alexander VIN Minh or any of these career civil servants coming out of the woodwork to now proclaim the vital importance of military aid to Ukraine. As for VIN Minh's concern about investigating a US citizen, he makes it sound like the president wanted Ukraine to poke around in Grandma Mary's knicker drawer. We're talking about a former vice president who is accused of funneling billions of dollars of taxpayer money to a shady gas company paying his son. Of course that should be investigated. And by the way, to all the ruling class robots endlessly reciting, is it appropriate to ask a foreign country to investigate a political rival? Of course it is. The fact that Biden is President Trump's political rival is the reason he should be investigated. He wants to be president. Don't you think we need to know if he channeled US aid into his son's company? And the fact that the money went to Ukraine is the reason we need to ask a foreign government to help with the investigation. Isn't it hilarious that the ruling class cares more about a request to investigate corruption than the actual corruption? That's because what Hunter Biden did in Ukraine, in China, in God knows where else, is the ruling class business model. That's why they're all defending him, and that's why they're out to get Trump, because he's exposing it. So, as we keep telling you, this whole impeachment thing, it is truly the system striking back and trying to cancel the populist revolution. We must not let them. Please share this by following us at Steve Hilton X and at NextRev FNC.